The healthcare system can feel like a maze of closed doors and hidden secrets, but you don't have to navigate it alone. This is the Clinical Watchdog, unraveling the mysteries of modern medicine so you can take back your power. I heard the piercing jar of the phone ringing. In the quiet of my kitchen, the silence was shattered by that sound, and my heart skipped a beat. It was a sound that had brought me nothing but stress, anxiety, and the dread of another rejection for the last 7 weeks. I stared at the phone sitting on the table, the morning sunlight hitting it, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. I was tired of the runaround. I was tired of feeling like just another number in a system that didn't care if I lived or died. I hesitated for a long moment, my hand hovering over the device. I braced myself for the same bureaucratic wall I'd been hitting for weeks. I finally picked up on the third ring, but this time it was different. It was the hospital's pharmacy approval manager, and then I heard it. Approved. Mounjaro. It was waiting for me. I can't even describe the feeling. It was like a dam breaking. A single word that didn't just authorize a medication, it authorized my recovery. The tension that had been locked in my shoulders, that permanent weight of hopelessness I'd been carrying since I stepped on that scale and saw the number 212, it finally just dissipated. I sat there in my kitchen, breathing in and out, realizing that for the first time in years, the system had actually worked in my favor. That approval was the spark. But the fire? That was all on me. I realized that if the system wasn't going to look out for my health, I had to. It wasn't about a magic pill. It was about finally having the tools to do the work. I had to face the reality of my habits. I walked to the cupboard and I did what I should have done a long time ago. I cleared it out. The cookies, the candies, the processed junk, they went into the trash. It wasn't about deprivation. It was about intention. I swapped the sugar for fuel. I got moving. Day by day, I was choosing to be active. I was choosing to be present in my own life. The results didn't happen overnight, but after that first month, I stepped on my home scale. I looked down and I saw that 10 pounds were gone. I went from 212 down to 202. I wasn't under the 200-pound mark yet, but that number was the confirmation I needed. It was proof that I could actually change the trajectory of my life. And the changes weren't just on the scale. My snoring, which used to be so loud and atrocious, began to quiet down. I wasn't waking up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck anymore. The fog started to lift. The exhaustion that I thought was just part of getting older was receding. It was a tangible, beautiful difference. I was taking control, and for the first time in a decade, I felt like I was winning. But as I look back, I need you to understand something critical. I'm sharing this so you learn from the process. If you take anything away from my journey, let it be this. Be an advocate for your own life. Do not, and I repeat, do not, let a doctor order medications before the results are in. I remember the fear at that first visit, the memory of my father, and the diabetes that took him from me. I was terrified. And because I was terrified, I almost let them rush me into a treatment I didn't fully understand. We need to demand that blood work comes back first. We need to demand that sleep apnea tests are reviewed before starting treatments. Too many of us are being treated for conditions we haven't even confirmed yet, with medications we don't necessarily need. You are the CEO of your own body. Act like it. I found myself walking back into the doctor's office. I wasn't the same man who had walked in that first day. My back was straight, my head was held high, and the dread and depression that used to cloud my vision were gone. I sat in the waiting room with a genuine smile on my face, feeling a quiet, steady confidence. When they called me in, I stepped back on that office scale. The numbers didn't lie. 179.6. 2.5 months of sweat, of better choices, of fighting for my own health. 32 pounds gone. I looked at that number, and I didn't just see a weight loss. I saw a future. The healthcare system can be a maze, but it is one you can navigate if you stay loud, stay informed, and refuse to be a passive patient. This is just the beginning. I'm the Clinical Watchdog, and we're just getting started.